I met who I believed to be a potential serial killer in his home while working when I lived in Virginia, and the only reason I'm sure he didn't kill me was because I lied and I told him my boss knew my exact location when, truthfully, my boss would have not noticed I was missing for 24 hours. This is a long one, bear with me. 2 years ago, I was working for a company as a person who measures houses. Most people haven't heard of it. It's where you essentially have an iPad and you go to people's home and draw out floor plans and measure rooms for carpets and hardwood flooring projects. Anyone can request one. I was 25 at the time, one of the few females that worked this position. I was actually really good at the job, so they gave me a lot of work and I usually hit between 10 to 14 houses a day, driving all over multiple towns. This house was my last house of the day, in the middle of nowhere, and I was exhausted. When I got there, I was incredibly annoyed because the customer wasn't home and was late for his appointment. 10 minutes later, he pulls up next to my car. He was a middle-aged man, balding, wearing a normal office job attire with a tie and everything. He seemed a bit awkward but was apologetic and let me into his home. Upon entering, the house was incredibly spotless and organized, minimal furniture and smelled like cleaning supplies. It didn't strike me as odd at first. He had two cats lounging in the living room. He first started acting weird as I was directed to the first bedroom. He mentioned, "Wow, my cats love you. They don't take to strangers like this usually." But his cats literally didn't move or come near me the whole time. I just nodded and smiled while I got to work scaling out the master bedroom on my iPad. He started inquiring about the electronics I was using. "Do they keep track of where you are on that thing?" Immediate red flag. Yes, and my boss knows how long each job should take based on the scope of work. It's incredible technology. "Be careful, don't touch the gun on a nightstand, it might go off." He chuckled. Talk about immediate spine chill. I looked up from my iPad and sure enough, there was a handgun on the nightstand. I knew instantly that I needed to behave like nothing that was happening was triggering an alarm for me. He directed me to the second bedroom and he said the exact same thing, warning me of a gun on a nightstand that indeed was there. This was the moment I knew I was in danger. At first I thought it was just my anxiety around guns, but at this point, the intention building between us was undeniable. There were only 2 bedrooms on the scope of work. I hastily met up with him in the kitchen and began running down the next steps, but he interrupted me. "Could you measure the basement stairs? I forgot to add them to the list, and I think I might want to carpet them in the future." My heart dropped, but my stupid customer service conditioned brain could not figure out how to get away with saying no. He led me to the basement door, and you guys, there is no way he was planning on doing anything with these stairs. They were plank wooden stairs, L-shaped, going down, leading to an unfurnished basement. Unfortunately, in order to get an accurate measure, I had to walk all the way down them to the basement. Meanwhile, he stood blocking the doorway with a smile on his face, mentioning again about whether or not my boss knew where I was, to which I shortly replied, "Yes." Once I got to the basement, I scanned the room quickly. There was not one, but 7 deep freezers lining the walls. In the middle of the room was a lit low-hanging ceiling light, revealing an old television set, VHS tapes scattered on the floor, and an old recliner facing the TV. Behind the set, 2 white shelves full of VHS tapes. In this moment, I knew one of 2 things was going to happen. He was either going to let me go, or he was going to push me down the stairs. I held my breath, put a smile on my face in an attempt to act my way out of the situation, and began to climb the stairs. All I could hear was my heartbeat in my ears. He was still blocking the door, no smile this time. As I got to about the fifth stair from the top, I felt him hesitate, which made me hesitate as well. You could cut the tension with a knife, and I finally understood that expression. To my absolute shock and relief, after 4 seconds, he stepped aside. I made a beeline towards the front door, not saying a word when he stopped me again, saying, "Oh, before you go, won't you give my cats a treat? They love you so much." He was holding a bag of cat treats. I quickly gave his cats a treat, thanked him, and practically ran out the house and definitely ran to my car. The second I got out of his driveway, I had the most intense panic attack and cried. I tried to call my boss, but I was in a dead zone. The truth of the matter is that my boss would not have noticed I was missing for at least 24 hours when I didn't round my day the next work day. Yes, he would have eventually been caught as it was my last known location, but I would have been long dead. I suffered PTSD over this experience. I couldn't sleep for a week. I was petrified to work my job, but I had no choice. This day still haunts me.